Welcome to Zenful Conversations. Thanks so much for stopping by again today. My name is Zenjen Brown, and today we have the honor of talking with artist, poet Wanda Wilson. Friend Wanda, hello.
Hi, wonderful to be here.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining the conversation. Reminder, these are unscripted and unedited, and that makes them a little more vulnerable. But it's a joy to have real, authentic, true conversation with people, and I am just absolutely loving it. So, welcome again. And let me just ask, what made you say yes?
Oh, to do the workshop and do the interview?
And this conversation, yeah, both.
Oh, well, why did I say yes? One, the extrovert portion of me must have been awake. So, and I love teaching. I love sharing what I know. It's exciting to me because a lot of people, and I take from a lot of people, but I've also created my own thing. And I'm really amazed at some of the people that told me that they're coming. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very
Yeah,
excited.
you got a good amount of people signed up for sure.
And
Yeah.
and the other thing is studying with Allen Ginsberg, who I met in an elevator going back to work at MTV and in New York City. It changed my life. And I had already begun to change it. I was living in New York City and taking poetry classes with Alice Notley. And she was considered one of the St. Mark's poets and St. Mark's Place poets, which was a church. And everyone from Wendell Berry to Galway Canal and all those people were part of that and read. And anyway, it was really amazing. And I learned so much from her. So much.
Wow.
She died, I think, last year. So, but yeah. And then Alan, I made Alan cry with a poem I wrote. So, yeah. And he was like, I want you to read that poem in front of the whole group. And I'm going, So I read a different poem, which, yeah, was kind of wicked and still really good. Still really good and well received. So, and that changed how I think before I was kind of like an academic with my and nothing against academics. I mean, we need our academics. So, but I hadn't taken the leap to change my poetry then. I mean, I was writing, these solemn things about, a dead cat behind my Brooklyn apartment and I'm going, "Oh my God, that's so boring even to me." So
Right.
yeah. So I started reading the Latin poets. And the Latin poets, Neruda, Cesar Viejo, Lorca. Lorca, Lorca's depressing, but Lorca's poetry leaps off the page. And these guys were writing like no American poets were writing. They were almost every line was just like you were there with it. And and Allen's did the same thing. And so between that and the other, and I spent a summer in Naropa and studied with Diane DePrima, with Allen, with Philip Whalen, and a whole bunch of others. And just everything shifted for me. It
How
and
long have you been writing poetry? I mean, since a child or?
Well, I wrote short stories starting at age 8. I mean, who knows what they were like? I have no idea. But at age 13, I had a disagreement with a friend and I started writing. And then, of course, the Vietnam War. And I started writing and sending to a vet there, and well, an army guy. And oh God, my cats are coming up here because I'm talking now. So
Oh, the energy, they like it.
yeah, they like the energy. So anyway, yeah, so really at 13 I started writing, and college I was going gangbusters. Again, it was that academic poetry. Nothing was outstanding, and I'm going to tell you something that everyone will be horrified by. I burned it all.
Wow, right.
And it felt so freeing that I left that. I mean, and I didn't burn it till about 8 years ago. No, probably 20 years ago. And yeah. And I had a friend who's like,
I
no,
love I love ceremonies like that, man. I but I knew we connected when you talked about your eagle feathers some one time.
yeah, yeah. I love my eagle feather. That was a riot. I mean, this eagle fussing at me because she dropped her fish head.
How funny.
So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
do love your outgoing personality as well. And you just jump right in with everything. And you're just you seem very full yes. Full body yes you give to things, you know?
I wasn't always this way. Before my son's birth, I was happy-go-lucky. I mean, I have to say, it's amazing I'm alive. I have been such a wild woman, still am a wild woman. And yesterday, I took a picture of this little orange mallow flower beginning to bloom. And when I went back and to post it on Facebook, uh, there was this what looked like this huge little creature coming out of the side of it. And then I hit on the thing you can do live, and it leaped at me. And I left it on there for people to guess. I think it's what's called a crazy ant. So we have them here. And I couldn't find anything else, but it was bizarre. I mean, so anyway, I mean, things like that happened to me. But I I was outgoing, but a lot of times in a negative way. And at my son's birth, I hemorrhaged and arrested, and yes, the near death experience and everything. And I was lucky enough to live in Charlottesville, Virginia after we moved to Charlottesville, Virginia. And I connected with a woman who wrote one of the first books on those experiences. And then the Monroe Institute was there. That's what they did. And I met the people that led that. And I also went to a yoga ashram and did tons of retreats there. So, uh, so that changed my life. I'm still outgoing. I'm not wonderful every day. I mean, who is, you know? But I love this community that you've built. I love all my poetry communities. And just what happened was, why allow this to change your life and take over? Do I have horrible times? Oh, yeah, I have horrible times. I do. And I mean, it's hard for me to keep my feet on the ground, which is why I love hiking. So,
Yeah, grounding practice is very important.
yes.
Absolutely.
I know I used to, for the first 10 years of my life after the incident, I walked around with rocks in my pockets.
Mm, mm, mm. No,
And the
I
first thing I
I
realized
had it
is, yeah,
for sure. I feel like I've been I was grounding for about a decade
yeah,
to
yeah.
to
That's about
to
how long it takes to come back. And there are pictures of me that people are like, "Who is that?" Yeah, yeah. Don't even look like.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, for sure.
Anyway,
Well,
all of this has changed my poetry and all of my traumas, which there are lots of. There's just lots of trauma in my life. And my life as a medical massage therapist was very scientific, but I also am a double Reiki master, do cranial, zero balance, all of that stuff. And I took my traumas and used them to heal. Because what else are you going to do with them?
that's what I think too.
Because
I mean, for me to fully absorb it, I have to become it. I can't just learn it and put it in my pocket and say, okay, I have to go all in, or it doesn't really happen.
and those kind of decisions changed my writing. They did.
Hmm.
They changed my writing. So, um, I'm going to read you a happy poem.
Great, beautiful.
Yeah. And later on, I'll read you a poem I wrote with a workshop that Rosemary Watola Tromer was giving. And yeah, so this was, anyway, I wrote this because friends asked from Oregon asked. Hiking Alaska winter mountains. I can't begin to tell you how the feelings stun and race through me when I hike the Alaska winter mountains. So much beauty, spontaneous joy, elusive vistas, and crystalline sparkles near my boots in the sun. Deep, dark shadows hide in the metal bending cold, searing valleys. The air cuts razors with each shortened breath. Mounds and mountains and mounds and mountains fill distances of white on white as white drifts on me like frozen starlight as I lift one hand and another to sift flakes like cherry blossoms in spring breezes. I close my eyes, sigh in the exquisite quiet. I could be buried in seconds, still smiling. A sudden small open water and icicles arrive. Faraway peaks are closer now. The ice cream snow on branches, how it rushes to fill the spaces between the stems, limbs, and air. Even as the sun warms, sends trills heating me with so much yellow as boots and ice cleats crunch squeak on the path. The blessings of this wild snap the thunder of my heart in mercy to a sudden desire to hug my hiking buddy, everybody. And my right knee waits till almost the end to give out.
Oh,
Now you see why I
that
say smile.
felt nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I wrote a lot in Alaska. I wrote an enormous amount when I lived in Colorado. Um, when I lived in Colorado, I taught classes starting in Charlottesville, Virginia, and I taught classes to everyone from psychiatrists, psychologists, to janitors, teachers, people, regular people, who knows. And you never know how these things affect somebody. 8 months later, I had one of my psychologists who this woman stopped me on the street and I had to think twice who she was. And she goes, "You created a miracle." And I'm going, "A miracle? What did I do?" She wrote 7 papers where for 3 years she had written none. And in her career, you better write papers or you're out. So that was, I mean, I can't take credit for that. This is what, I offer options and people pick and choose what they want. So, yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great. I did the same in Colorado, and in Colorado, a friend and I, who also took my classes, she and I would go around places, no name on it. We would cut out these small poems and tape them in public places like bathroom mirrors. And
Nice.
we called ourselves the Coyote Poets.
Nice.
And I would
Nice.
love to start that up again. I mean, you just take a couple of lines and then, you're taking
Hmm.
scotch tape so you're not damaging anything. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Are you familiar with that community? Um, Secret Agents of Change, which is Rosemary.
oh, Rosemary, right. Rosemary.
That
Rosemary.
sounds like something she would that would be in alignment with that because they do these things anonymously.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, since you mentioned Rosemary, I will read, and I will tell you this is a true story. This is about my Aunt Amy in Mississippi, who we say Amy. So, and we had to come up with something from a relative and, a memory. And I want you to remember this is true. So, dear Henry, I'm sorry I shot you. I really didn't mean to. You just kind of got in the damn way of my chickens, me being so much shorter than you and all. And I'm sorry I didn't agree to no transfusion, but I just become a Christian Scientist that night, and I didn't think it was right. I did pray, well, a couple of minutes anyway. And Henry, you know I love you at some point when I was young. You being in your 70s, honey, you had a good long life. Well, long anyway. So stop it. I can hear you complaining. Limbo can't be that bad. It's just one of those terrible things. And me what had to do the chickens before I took you into the hospital. You damn near bled all over the car. Oh, by the way, I bought a new one with your insurance money, honey. So you see, some good done come of it after all, Henry. Look, I'm sorry you gone, but I sure like all the bed and hot water to myself. Hell, last night I even let old Shirley in with me. She squawked like the dickens, but them lice is gone.
Back up. You said that was done in one of Rosemary's workshops?
Yes, one of Rosemary's classes. So, in Telluride, I was living in Colorado at the time.
Oh, so you've met her in person.
Huh? Oh yeah, no,
You've
I know Rosemary. I've known, God, how long ago was that? That had to have been 25 years ago, if not more. So, yeah. Yeah, no.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, a few of you ladies know her, know personally. I'm like, oh, that's great,
And
man.
now that I'm in Arizona, what I'm hoping is, and my Social Security doesn't leave me much money to do this, but I'm hoping to travel up there and take a workshop with her. So, yeah, I know. So that would be really good. Yeah.
Well, that was a delight, that
And
writing.
it's true, she killed her husband. He was awful to her. He beat her bloody. And when the cops came, they saw that all she had done, and she got away with it because they saw what he had done to her, you know. So, oh, years of this abuse. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, this woman was like 4'10", if that. So I don't even know that she was. She was a delight. She was another artist. So, and she loved her chickens. So
So
anyway,
what does your practice look like? I mean, do you wake up and write? Do you have a set fixed thing, or
you know,
what is
yeah,
your practice like?
I don't. My practice is, I discovered late in life, although my son said, how did you discover it late in life? We've all known. I have ADHD, and some days it's severe, and it is meditation helps, and I don't do it all the time. I do it often though. I do it a lot. And at the very least, and then when I do it, I will get up to 45 minutes to an hour when I'm on schedule with it. And then my day is better. And I don't know what I do with my practice because I can't get up and get going and do that. I have a poem in my head from a workshop I had to leave early of Rosemary's on Saturday. And I drove to Vegas, which is an hour and a half away, and I put on this music to help trigger this. And I just kept playing it over and over and over again. And the poem is farmed, but I cried all the way to Vegas and all the way home. And so I haven't had time to sit down and write it. I've been I gave the kids the day yesterday and took the grandkids. So, anyway, but
Yeah,
that's
cool.
the stuff I do. I mean, a word will pop in my head or a dream or something, and I will sit and write it. I always have a notebook with me and a pen,
Right,
pens,
right,
always,
right.
because I never know where that comes from, and I will grab it. And sometimes, I mean, there's a guy walking down the street in a top hat and
Hmm.
butt cut out of his blue jeans, and you're like, well, there's a poem right there. Or there's an ant that leaps off a flower at me. And believe me, I had my iPhone. I mean, I was like this from this ant. He would have got me in the face. So, yeah. So for my practice, walking in nature really, really does it for me. Was I able to do that in Alaska? No. There's a reason you don't hike alone in Alaska. And I got caught in it one day. And
Mm.
yes, I had a brown bear. What's
Ah.
not, they're not grizzlies up there because they have too much food, but they are the biggest brown bear in the world, I think. Um, but it had followed somebody and it ended up following me. And of course, you can't run, and I'm 2 miles to my car. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
These are unscripted and edited, and life is calling me in a moment here. So I'm gonna have to put this on pause
Okay.
and come right back. There we go. Okay, and we are back. I just had to take care of something, so thanks for understanding. I haven't. That's the first time I've actually hit pause on a recording because they're not edited, and I wanted it about as raw and real, but I knew it would be a few minutes, so we put it on pause. So thanks for understanding to you and to everybody listening.
That's perfectly all right. I do have two chapbooks. One, they're both very old, so I do have those. So both are unavailable for pickup. So I need to get a new book of poetry, and I've got one I want to put together for Alaska. So anyway,
Mm.
at a workshop by, who are these people? Where are they? 49 writers, because Alaska is the 49th state. Uh, in Juneau, I flew to Juneau, and we were at the Shrine of St. Teresa doing this workshop. So it was very special, and they didn't like the poems I brought, which is kind of scary when you think about it. So, I mean, these people didn't know me, and they just one poem was really ripped to pieces. So, but then I read this one. I wrote this one while I was there. I wrote a couple of them, but this is my fave from that time. The awesomeness of women. The edge of our ribs holds the ghosts of our children and hides them safely under our skin. Like so much, like paper wings, they contract and expand the thoughts of our most exaggerated importances. Ripe and curled in our age, we lay smiling in our holy aloneness, unafraid of the sun rising over what's left of the curve of our women's bellies, once full. Now only songs lift precious red dreams, those timetables of our blood with their long gone out tides, their forgotten wicked hormones, skipped off giggling like dandelion wishes on the wind. Soon, though, the cradle of age rolls on, and it always seems way too early for electrons to slow and halt their nucleic flights
Mm.
until one single moment slides in, balanced on sighs, for the unintended quiet that echoes off our softer bones as we reach past the ability of our tymbals, for the gentle laughter of little ones, for the loon calls of last summer on these November gray waters, for the honor of being at the slow end when the almost faint tinkle of snowflakes begins to lift away and up towards that exquisite frozen moment before heavens fall.
Mm.
And so I finished reading this, and it was like dead silence with these 8 women. And I'm like, oh God, I screwed up again. And they were like, you wrote that here?
That's one thing I've noticed. Quiet doesn't necessarily mean it's not bad. It's
No.
usually like, oh gosh, there's nothing good, but there's a lot of processing, contemplating. There's so much that goes on with all of this that we need to receive. They're receiving. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, um, it's interesting. I feel like my poetry has shifted after receiving James Cruz. And his ideas of poetry and his soft spokenness, because I have severe hearing loss from an antibiotic. It's nerve damage. I would think all my listening to all those rock concerts and everything. Nope, nope. My hearing was fine till I took an antibiotic, which is kind of common, evidently. So I talk really loudly at times, and yeah. Anyway, sometimes that's great because as a poet, you want to reach your audience. And I'll tell you one thing Allen Ginsberg did for me more than anybody else is teach me how to read. I get these people that will read like this. September hangs for a moment, the dangling intermezzo with leftover. Who hears that? Or it's like timber hangs for a moment and you're like, one, I don't hear it, even with my hearing aids. And two, you're not exciting me and I want to read your poem myself. So um I used to get really nervous reading in front of people, and what I decided was I wasn't going to read. I was going to perform. And be happy I'm sitting, because if I was standing, I would be all over the place. There's the advantage of ADHD. So, uh, which is very helpful to stand. When I teach, I rarely sit. So,
The energy gets to move. I mean,
yes, yes, it
I don't
helps.
see a lot of these things as a problem. A lot of what is labeled a problem.
Right, right. I feel so bad for these kids in school. Yeah, it's, you know, anyway. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, I am terrible about sending my poetry out to be published. And although I just had one published in Cirque magazine, so it's
Mm.
an Alaska and Pacific Northwest magazine. And this is one thanks to James Cruz. It's called Mississippi Peach. Though we are long over, I remember our honeymoon drive through Mississippi, stopping by the Black Man, as dusty as the road clouds, as the barely held together boards of his stand. You hesitant to purchase from the rows of his grocery bags filled with tiny, hard green peaches. I know, I smiled. Wait. The next night, ripened naked, sloppy with golden juice and the sweet mix of Mississippi peach and the sea.
Mm. I could even smell that one.
Oh, the peaches. I mean, they're these small little peaches, and you buy them green and you buy them in a little brown bag. And the next day they are just overflowing with juice. I mean, they're dripping every which way. You can't stop it. And you eat the fuzz. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand people who have to peel peaches. So, uh, so I told you I'm a little wild.
Yeah, yeah. I like that about you.
So, as far as my practice, I really, one of the two words that I focus to live my life by, and that's pay attention, as well as kindness, compassion, and all the rest of it. But pay attention,
Mm.
because we get into this, excuse me, I get into this busyness, and it's a word that I constantly throw away from my vocabulary is busy.
Mhm.
It's what Americans seem to crave is
Thrive on, yeah.
I
Badge of honor even.
yeah, I have friends that cannot sit still. They can't they can't sit for a minute. They don't have ADHD. What they have,
Oh, it's a severe
busy.
problem in our
Busy, busy,
society.
busy, 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 busy. This idea of puritanical work ethic, and would my poetry improve with a little bit of that and some of that discipline? Probably. But my discipline is to pay attention, focus on what makes me happy and what is upsetting, and follow my emotions down that road rather than the thoughts, which are in my emotions in the gut. Yeah.
You know yourself enough to know what your priorities are. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not, um, and we could have days long conversation on some of this stuff, but the amount of stimulation people need is ridiculous. And because of, to me, in my opinion anyway, because of the excessive stimulation, people have a challenge noticing subtle things. And these subtle things are what rock my world.
Oh, yes, yes.
But noticing, I love to notice. And I like Eckhart Tolle. Some people like him, some people don't. I do like him. I've trained with him. I actually became a teacher of presence through his School of Awakening, which is a 5-month training with Eckhart Tolle and Kim Eng. But anyway, that was extraordinary, and I still train with him. um, and he talks about this, and he talks about this, just noticing, and even if we could just 10 seconds
Yes.
before doing something, just notice for just 10 seconds, which people have a challenge with that. What Kim Eng said a story of um, when she first started working with Eckhart. They're going to get in the car to go somewhere. So she gets in and she shuts the door and she's like, "All right, let's go." And he, very practiced at this noticing, gets in his car and notices. And I'm serious, that could probably be a half an hour, right? I mean, it could be.
Ah,
And then he goes to turn on the car and it's like this very long, and I understood it, and enjoy a good deal of that myself, quite honestly. But it's interesting. And he even was saying this last time I was listening to him a couple weeks ago, he'll sit on the couch or just sit in a room and just sit there. And people are like, well, do you want to turn on TV? Do you want this? Do you want that? And he's like, just sitting seems to, people have a problem with you just sitting there. It's like, you can't just sit there. And it's like, why is that a problem? You know? So anyway, that just, the whole noticing thing is really big in my world too.
Well, and so that you asked what my practice is. My practice is to pay attention. I've also you'll hear me use the word allow. You won't hear me say let go. I don't know that we have anything to let go of. It's allowing things in to be able to shift into a different dimension. And so, if anything, my practice is paying attention. And when I do that, I can bring focus. Otherwise, I mean, Ellen Rowland will tell you she has seen me in workshops where I'm up, down, doing this, doing that, and then I'll sit there like this. And when that ADHD hits, I cannot focus. And so um, and it was hard in Alaska getting up on Saturday mornings to take her classes at 7. And she's another one who has changed my life. So it's interesting the people that come into our lives. You are becoming another one. So
Well, as are you.
yeah. And it's I had a deadline on some art to do for the local art um, place downtown, and I didn't get it. I didn't get to it. Why? I mean, I bought paint. I bought canvases. I did all this stuff. I've been writing. I have been writing and writing and writing, and it's very hard to take that jump to the next, you know, creative
But
process.
don't you think that if it was a priority for you, you would have put it ahead of something else? I
Right.
mean,
I worked on it for a long time and it was driving me crazy because there were little 6 by 6 things. I paint huge. All right.
oh, right. I remember you talking about
Yes.
this in one of the
Paint
workshops.
big. And I don't do small. I mean, these are just, uh, I think my smallest is like a 20 by 20. I just don't do small. And I mean, do I do the big giant things? No, I don't have the money for that, and I don't care about it. So that's not important to me. What is important is I really, and am I there all the time? No, I'll find a Korean drama I want to watch. And there are like 20 episodes. And I'm like, okay, we'll just go through them.
Oh,
And so one of my days is spent watching that. And for some reason, and I allow myself to have that time. And I think what happens, and I think it's the part of my trauma is obsessing. When something negative happens, obsess. And it can be a week later and and then I go back to that person and they're like, I'm already done with that. What do you? So I give myself, nowadays, I give myself an hour, or if it's something really grievous, I will give myself a day. And that's it. You either work through it, you talk to the person, or you're out, you know. Um, Yeah, my trauma has led me to much better places than I would ever have imagined. Am I still a bad girl? Oh, yeah.
You know it. If you're gonna do it right.
Well, and I am back on my exercise. I took my grandkids on a 2 mile hike yesterday. And we're talking the 1.5-year-old in a stroller, in one of those running strollers, uphill, downhill, uphill, rock, rock, rock. We're not talking these nice little clean paths. We're talking big rocks. So the stroller's doing this, and he's laughing the whole way. He thinks it's hysterical. So, yeah. So, and
Yeah, I
so
bet
in the
you
middle
are.
of this, I'm noticing all these wonderful flowers, you know? And I mean, this is the desert. We had all these 100 degrees. Were there flowers? No, the rabbit brush is in
So how old are these grandkids? You got two, is that what you
one
said?
and a half and 3.5. Yeah.
Ah,
So three and a
fun.
half. I noticed her legs when we got back, her calves, they were better, but she's like, Nana, I need you to carry me. And I want to go home. I'm going, Fiora's a pout pout fish with a pout pout face. And she goes, No. It's a book. It's one of her favorite books. It's a funny, funny book. So yeah.
Funny. Yeah, I bet you're a fun
Yeah.
grandma.
I'm a little crazy and I'm the disciplinarian, so it's like, no.
Yeah. I'm an advocate for a little crazy in this lifetime. I think we need it. Um,
Oh, how about another poem?
yeah, and then I want to know what you after your poem. Go ahead and read another poem, but I want to know what it is you want everybody to know about you, Wanda Wilson, and what you want everybody to know about perhaps finding a space of peace in their life, within. Nothing
This
too
is,
challenging.
yeah. This is another one of those silent ending things, although this ended up with a and I've got another one, but I think this is also published in Cirque magazine, a previous issue. So I do send things out. I just don't send a lot out. And it's time for me to start doing.
Yeah, that'll change when you're changing it to. I mean, you moved, you had a lot go
Yeah,
on,
it's a lot going on. Yeah.
so it'll come.
So, and I may decide to read this as an example for something, but I will be cutting things out of this. But for you here, I'll read the whole thing. It's called You Want. And here's an example of a list poem. So, you want to be in love again. That maddening, crazy feeling so strong it makes you scratch. The ache for one another when apart that almost tears you into scattered pieces like glass breaking inside, all the way to your toes. You want desperate hugs that squeeze the breath to small sips, constricts the eyes. You want kisses soft as warm cream on a summer morning, hard as though the tongue has stabbing muscles, as you watch his jaw break your latitudes into passion. If the world explodes, you don't want to know when he's offering himself in you. You won't care when he's lifting you to him. You want sweet roses, yellow spring violets. You want to dance and swing to music so soft and so loud that it splits your thoughts to nothings. You want to laugh and laugh as though the kettle drums of symphonies carry on the wings of desires and compassion. You want you want your life to stop flowing out between your legs, killing your kidneys, stopping your heart. You want your lovers not to be doctors.
Wow.
Yeah. I got phone calls from people I knew about that poem when they saw it published. And they were like, okay, we got to get together. I want to hear it out loud.
Yeah, wow. Powerful.
Yeah. Well,
Very
this is
powerful.
what happens when you have too many autoimmune diseases. And yeah, so I do not have an advanced directive because I come back like that. And so, what was it? Why would people want to get to know me?
Well, no, what is it that you want people to know about Wanda Wilson?
That I've matured as I've gotten older, and yet I never grew up. I'm still that kid, that wild woman. I'm still the woman who goes to a flower and an ant tries to jump on her. And, I mean, if you want to go on a hike, am I the one you call? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You want to go camping? Am I the one you call? If you want to go dancing, do I know these people? No. Am I going? Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to sit quietly in a corner and write? I'm right there with you.
Mm,
Do you need someone to hold? Yeah, I'm right there. I will hold you forever, as long as you need.
beautiful. And what about finding some kind of peace in this insanity? How do you manage to do that?
Well,
Or
I don't have TV. I have my the tiniest laptop that Apple makes. And I probably never will get another TV. Although I might get something because I have all these DVDs. And my son's like, why don't you stream them? And I'm like, I have them.
I like doing it this way. That's okay.
I'm old. I'm old. This is the way I
I
do
like it.
it.
Brings me
So,
comfort and joy to do it this way.
so, um, yeah, I remind me of our question.
Um, People listening in or watching,
Yeah,
what kind of words would you share about them being at peace these days? Or what brings you peace?
the TV. So I don't watch news. I have my Apple phone and I have my little Apple News and I read. And that is almost too excruciating. I read Heather Cox Richardson. I read Alt National Park. And that's about it. The rest of it, I'm scrolling through Facebook or watching my Korean videos. Why? Because they're funny, even if they're sad ones, and they're still so brilliant and so much better than American-made movies. You know, I feel the same way about European films. I mean, I Lino Wertmuller. Oh my God. Yeah, no. Carlo Ponti, all those guys just made brilliant movies. So, um, how to find peace? Take a walk, ride your bike, go hug a tree, go find flowers, butter daisies that only show up for a week. And if you don't notice them, they're gone and you've missed all that joy. And is this heartbreaking? Oh yeah, I'm way beyond liberal. I could be living in Sweden or Denmark or someplace. And I had a conversation with a Republican the other night. And all I said was Chicago. And he goes, I am not for illegal immigration. And I am also not for what happened in Chicago. So the conversations have to happen. It's scary for me. Conflict is scary for me. Do I still step into it? I invite everyone to take a breath and step into it gently with holding yourself first, and yet still offering and being able to communicate with some people you'll never be able to communicate with. I haven't talked to anybody in my family for months. They're thrilled by all the
Finding common ground there. Yeah,
so
there's a lot there. There's a lot there.
this poem,
Um,
yeah, that's coming is about all of this, and I've written. I mean, I had a poem I wrote anti George Bush when he went into Iraq and Afghanistan, and it was plastered all over the wall at Fort Lewis College in Durango. And I mean, I was, people knew me in Colorado, people knew me in Virginia, people knew me in Alaska. But nobody knows who I am here.
not
And
yet. You just got there. Give yourself time, girlfriend.
and I feel like, I mean, and I didn't cry for 20 years. A leaf falls and I cry. And Ellen said something to me the other day, and it was, it's one of those it moments that are so touching and so heartfelt, and it's hard to believe about you yourself when someone else says it. And yeah, I'm already getting choked up. So, and it just, how do I come across to people? How do I, you know, how do I, what do I mean to people? And do I want to come across as the wild person? Do I want to come across as the poet, the artist, um, the nana? Yes, to all of the above,
Yeah.
and to the spiritual, that quiet, soft, gentle, compassionate person. I
Mm,
used to have a bumper sticker that said, "Compassion is revolution." I didn't make it up.
mm,
Somebody else did, and I just thought it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So,
mm,
and so
mm,
true.
mm.
Yeah.
Do you have a final poem you'd like to share?
Oh, let's read something recent. Let's see. Oh, I wasn't going to read this, but I will. This is one I wrote during one of my few dealing with grandkids times with James Cruz. It's called Home. It's after Julia Fehrenbacher. There are hummingbirds here, but not at your feeders. So, what do you prefer now that your pre planned worries unraveled? In its place, stickers and thorns bite, hide danger in their shadows. Oh, how they whisper with your own. You wander the sands of big skies, where so many empty spaces fill these moments with silent excitement. You notice how the wind sings around the hills, how you walk and whistle its fierce tune, where hollows carry it wide into the deep, out and away until your insides sigh with bursts of wild song. Did you see how tears fall even with glee? How last night they bounced purple off the moon?
Oh,
Whew.
thank you for sharing your wonderful words today. Wow. And there's a lot to the way you read
Yes.
because
And
I've felt it so much more. I felt the experience of your writing much more than other times just listening to people. So there's so much to that. But wow, thank you for sharing your words. What
thank
any
you.
final thoughts or want something you want to end with here?
Well, I'm excited about the workshop. This is going to be fun. We're going to play. I have two big writing things and one little tiny one. I hope we get to all of them because
Going to be a surprise, but it'll be
it's going to
fun
be a
and
surprise.
very
I'm not
creative.
even telling you. Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm very excited about it, and I realize I had it like I had my little script at 3 pages, and I'm thinking, you'll never get to people writing, Wanda. Here I'm writing all about the neocortex and all this. I'm going, no, 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 this isn't about you. And I may not, I may read only one poem, and that may be at the end. And it is one of the best poems I've ever written, and it's not even long.
Sweet.
So,
Cool. Yeah, we don't have to give anything else away. Just as this is recorded, it'll be Thursday, October 9th, 2025 at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And you
what
fill
a
in the blanks wherever you are.
what a joy today. What a joy.
Oh goodness. I just yeah, your spirit. Thanks for sharing your spirit here. Thanks for joining the conversation.
Oh,
Um
you.
it, I love you. I do. I do. Okay, cool. And is there, I guess on Facebook, if somebody wants to reach out to commission some artwork or something, they can find
Oh,
you on
yeah, they can find
Facebook,
me on Facebook.
right?
Most of my art is not on Facebook. Some of my old stuff is. I don't post my poetry on Facebook anymore because you post it and the magazines won't take it, So, yeah, that's why. Otherwise, I'd be posting all the time, all the time, all the time. And yep, nope, 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 nope. Don't.
How about that?
Yeah, so
How
so
about
I've
that?
had 2 poems recently published and, onward and upward for more.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you can sign up for that workshop. It is free of charge with Wanda Wilson, and that is, you can find that sign up link at Zenful Conversations, along with many other offerings. Thanks so much for coming by, everybody. Wanda, thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying yes.
God. Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes, full body yes, and deep gratitude. Namaste.
Huge gratitude. Thank you. Much love.
Namaste to you.
Peace. Yes.